Ta-da!
Hello gamers, Matthew here from Grey Army Gaming in Lund, Sweden. For today's video, we will be playing Day 14 of Battle for the Borderlands. The fight today will be between the Night Goblins and the Swordmasters of Hoeth. Let's go ahead now and take a look at the warbands and take a look at the board. For the first warband here now, we have the Night Goblins. They are led here by their leader, Skristam, and he is a Night Goblin big boss. He has the Dashing Cloak of Heroic Renown for 5+ regeneration. Joining him, 2 Dogs of War, we have the Regimental Standard and the Regimental Musician. That will be important because of their low leadership. Over here now, we have 4 additional archers and 4, 8, 12, 13 spearmen. 6+ save on those. And for our second warband now, we have the Swordmasters of Hoeth. They are using the yellow dice. They are led today by Meldas the Seeker, our Blade Lord. And he also has the Epic Flail, which gives him the Frenzy special rule. He is also joined here by 2 Dogs of War with the Regimental Standard and the Regimental Musician. In addition, now we have 4 additional Swordmasters of Hoeth, and they are great weapons. They have heavy armor for a 5+ save. So there you go, 100 points of the Swordmasters of Hoeth. Here's the board we will be playing on today, a 4-foot by 4-foot board. On one side, it looks like we have some forests that come into a large sort of stone-gated area behind which sits an old castle or fortress that has gone into ruin here in the Borderlands. So we will be fighting somewhere on this massive space. There's fairly open places, but also some big walls that can be hidden behind. Let's go ahead and roll to see who gets to deploy first. All right, Swordmasters on the yellow dice and the Night Goblins on the green. Night Goblins decide. They will deploy first. All right, we are all deployed now. Let's check out how it looks first with the Night Goblins. It's so difficult to know what to do here when we lay down first, so we just went ahead and put everybody right in the middle of this corridor. We put our archers up here, 1 in each window and 1 in each window here. Only an 18-inch short bow range, so they won't be so useful in the beginning. That's how it's going to look for us, staring down the Swordmasters of Hoeth. And like we said, hard to know what to do with this specific setup, so we just put the Swordmasters right in the middle. Alright, Swordmasters deployed second, so on a 1 to 5 they decide who goes first. And they will go first. Alright, here we go, turn 1. High Elves, Swordmasters of Hoeth. Okay, we're just going to go ahead and march up here. I know that we have archers up there, but we do have deflect shots, special rule with the Swordmasters. We've got good armor. Hopefully we can avoid getting killed by those bows. Let's go ahead and march. And there's their final position there. Nothing too fancy. Well, let's go ahead to Night Goblin, turn 1. Alright, Night Goblins, no charges to declare here. We don't just want to march straight up. We're going to get mowed down. So we're going to do a little defensive tactic and try to regroup over here. So there's our reorganization, regrouping inside of that building. I'm not sure how much that is going to help us, but at least it will throw these guys off a little bit, maybe confuse them. Shooting phase, let's go ahead now and shoot with each of these 4 guys. 1 at a time, we're at long range. And now shooting each one of the guys in the front, usually hitting on 4s long range, hitting on 5s. So there is 1 hit. Wounding on a 4. 5+ armor. No, and a deflect shot 6+. Whoa, we got it, wow. That could have potentially been really bad, so it's good we deflected that shot. Alright, that concludes the Night Goblin turn, so let's move on to the Swordmasters turn 2. Alright, with that interesting tactical move, let's go ahead now and split these guys up. We'll march some this way, some through, and some around. And there are final positions now. We've split them up here, and we have our Blade Lord here. He has a bit longer movement than the others, so he was able to catch up with them. We're putting the pressure on the Goblins now. That's the end of this turn for the High Elves. Let's go on to turn 2 for the Goblins. Alright, Goblins, let's play it cool and retreat a little bit and try to regroup and see if we can push this up one more turn. All right, there everyone is, backed up into the corner. I have no idea if this is a good tactic or not, but it will give us a little more space between us and those Swordmasters. If they try to charge, they might fail. We might be able to counter charge, but it also gives us a chance to shoot a little bit. And for the shooting, we will have to move these guys over here to this window in order to get the shots off. The other guys on the other side have a line of sight. All right, they're now in short range, so let's go ahead and shoot down to these each of these guys on the both sides of the Blade Lord. Usually hitting 4s, now hitting 5s because we moved. Here's 1, strength 3, toughness 3, 4, and it's a hit. Okay, this is huge here. We have a 5 and a 6, 5+ armor save, no, and a 6+ deflect shots. No, we didn't get it. Unbelievable. So this guy goes down right there. That is exactly what we were hoping for. And now all of these guys have to take Panic Test Leadership 8 with a re-roll. So let's start here. That's a 10. Can he re-roll it? No, it's a 12. He's going to turn around and run. Oh my goodness. All right, let's do our Blade Lord. No, let's do him last. Let's go to the Musician here. And he's fine. Let's go over to that guy. He is fine, and let's do our Blade Lord first, and he is fine, and our Banner, he is also fine. So this guy's going to run. How far is he going to move? 8 inches. So let's go ahead and move him out 8 inches right to here. Way to go, little goblins. That was a nice shot. Of course, we still have 2 more shots from those 2 windows, and they're going to be shooting down, and let's have them shoot into the Banner. All right, here we go, hitting on 4s. Oh, look at that, 2 hits, wounding on 4s. Oh my goodness! All right, here we go, 5+ armor save. Oh, we got 1 and a 6+ deflect shots. Oh no! Oh my goodness, they killed the Banner. I cannot believe it. Wow. Unbelievable. So far we have 2 dead Swordmasters Hoeth and 1 fleeing. We only have 4 left in the fight, so this strategy is working so far for the Goblins. That is the end of the Goblins' turn. Let's go ahead to turn 3 for the Swordmasters. Okay, charges to declare. We're going to have those 2 guys in the windows charge through the windows right at our leader. And you can see that they do have line of sight there. So these are 12-inch charges. We need to roll now a 7 average roll. And our leader, he is going to hold. So let's roll out the first one here on the left. 9 plus his 5, no problem. And the other guy in the window, he gets an 11. So they are both in. And there they are now in base contact. Let's see if we can rally this guy on an 8. Yeah, he is fine. Let's turn him around, bring him back into combat. Remaining moves, let's go ahead and march those guys up their full march. And there are their final positions. All right, let's do for a fear test here on this guy. Let's see if he fears the elves. And a 6, he passed, so he does not. Okay, Swordmasters, 4 attacks here onto the leader, and they're hitting on 3s. Wounding on 3s because of the great weapon, and we've got 2 wounds there. And that was really good because he doesn't have any armor, and that's his 2 wounds, so he comes off. But before we take him off, we forgot he does have the dashing cloak of heroic renown, so let's try to roll this. He has a 5+. And he can't save either of those, so he is gone. And of course, that is the risk of coming so close to the edge now and bunching ourselves up like this. All of these guys now have to take panic tests on a new leadership of 5 within the Banner, so 5 re-rollable. Let's go ahead and do all those off camera. Well, it could have gone a lot worse for the Goblins. We had 3 of them run off the board. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them stayed put, including our Banner. And over here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them that are fleeing off that edge. And of course, to finish off now with the charge, we will have these guys overrun, and that will bring them into combat with those other Goblins. All right, this is too much drama for such a small little space here. That brings us to the end of the Swordmaster's turn, and let's run over now and start Goblin turn 3. Charges to declare, let's go ahead and just pile in there. And there's outlooks after all of those charges are completed. Compulsory moves, let's see if we can rally these guys. They are all within 12 inches of their Banner, so they have 5 on a reroll. Starting here, nope. Nope. So that guy will continue on. 9 inches, that will take him off the board. Let's continue with the rest off camera. Okay, 3 of them ran off the board, but 2 were actually able to rally on the reroll. So you see how important it is with a banner. Remaining moves, let's see. This guy is going to be okay there. We don't need to move him. But let's actually move this guy over here so that he has a line of sight down onto our Blade Lord. Those guys are fine up in their window. They have a line of sight. So let's do some shooting. Starting up here onto the Blade Lord, hitting on a 4. Second guy on the Blade Lord, hitting on a 4, wounding on a 4. Got him. 5+ armor save. No. And a 6+ deflect shots. No. So he's going to go down to 1 wound. I can't believe these goblin archers. Another shot from that window down to here, hitting on a 4. Wow. And wounding on a 4. No. Second shot, hitting on a 4, wounding on a 4. Oh my goodness. 5+ save. No, and a 6+ deflect shots. Oh, I cannot believe it. This Blade Lord just got killed by another goblin. They are shooting like crazy. That means this guy has to do a panic test. Here we go. On an 8, and he's fine. Well, I wouldn't have believed this, but the Night Goblins are actually giving the Swordmasters quite a run for their money. That's the end of the Night Goblin turn. Let's run over here and flip it over to game turn 4. And let's have the Swordmasters take a turn. Charges to declare. We're going to have this guy charge in, and he cannot miss, so he will come sliding in like that. Remaining moves, let's march this guy up. He's like, hey guys, don't forget about me. Don't forget about me. Bring him up here 10 inches. And there's his final position right there. All right, let's go ahead and have these Swordmasters hitting in 4 attacks, hitting on 3s. Not exactly as good as we would want it. Wounding on 2s. Oh my goodness. Only a single wound, and that's not going to be strong enough for his armor, so we've lost 1 only. And there's 1 more here that will be attacking over on the Musician. 2 attacks on 3s. Oh my goodness. Wounding on a 4. Wounding on a 2, and that's not strong enough either. At least they lose their Musician. Okay, 4 attacks coming back, hitting on 5s. We've got 2 hits, wounding on 4s. There is 1 wound, and we have a 5+ save. Got it. So Swordmasters win this combat by 2, which drops the leadership down to 3 with a reroll, basically almost insane courage. Let's see if they can do it. No, so they are going to be fleeing. Let's go ahead and roll this off camera. I think they probably will all flee off the board. Okay, believe it or not, 2 of them actually stuck around, but now with all those kills, that will bring them to their breaking point. They will have to roll for the route test. Okay, well, this is the end of the combat phase, the end of the Swordmaster's turn, so we're going to have to go roll now for the route test for the Night Goblins. Alright, time for the route test. This is not looking so promising since Night Goblins only have the leadership left of 5. So here we go, the route test. And it's a 6, so they will flee off the board, and the Swordmasters of Hoeth will take the victory. Wow, this was a really good game. I really didn't think it would be this close. This was a really fun game. Those archers up there were deadly. They picked off a lot of those Swordmasters. Were shooting really well, which actually almost cost the Swordmasters the game. But they will now go on to the next round. Let's go ahead and roll on the chart for our leader and see what kind of upgrades we get. All right, well, Meldas the Seeker didn't do much this round other than get shot by arrows, so he didn't really have any kills. Let's go ahead and roll a 2d6 though. All right, that's a 10, and a 10 will be lightning reflexes. Your leader gains either +1 movement or +1 initiative. Well, they've got ASF, so let's give him a +1 movement, and that will bring him now up to a 7. With that victory, the Swordmasters of Hoeth now advance to round 3, and they will be taking on the winner of the Inner Circle versus the Glade Guard, which will be our next match. So please stay tuned for that. That should be an exciting game, and it will be exciting to see who will then take on the Swordmasters of Hoeth. Well, thank you for joining us here today at Grey Army Gaming, where Grey can always play.